A very good morning to all of you.
Good morning, sir.
After a long time, we are meeting, I think so. Please switch on the videos. Before beginning the class, I want to give you a change in today's schedule. You have 12:15 to 1:15. You will have English instead of applied mathematics. 12:15. That means your 3:15 English is shifted to 12:15. And applied maths is shifted to 3:15. Clear now? Just exchange. And 12:15 English will be on board 9, not 10, board 9. Applied maths will be on board 9. No change. This change, please note it. So one more period will be there. So, okay. I think some of you have sent to me the notes of previous lesson, the enemy, and I have seen some have done well presentation and everything. The main purpose is you have to read and write the summary. It can be of 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages, no problem. But later when you read it, the whole story should be there. It depends upon you, according to your reading capacity, according to your understanding capacity. Clear now? Because it is a large lesson, long lesson. It is not easy to read all the time before the examination. NAS, it is class 12, NAS. You have board number 10, geography board number 10. Okay. So it does not mean I have written 4 pages or 3 pages or 2 pages. The purpose is you have to read it. Once you read that note, you should get the clear picture of the whole lesson. Clear now? Okay. Those who have not done, you have come back. Okay. Those who have not done, please do it. In the last class, I think, if I remember, we were in page number 5. Am I right? Page number 5 in the third paragraph. You might have forgotten, Gauri. You might have forgotten. Page number 5. No. Paragraph number 3. Am I right, Punya?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my memory is all right, isn't it? Okay. Salute the memory. Okay. So here, I have plenty of time. I will learn it tomorrow. There we have stopped, I think. So I might have told you. We also used to tell like France. I remember like that. I had told like that. We always tell we will learn tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. So I will learn it tomorrow. And now you see where we have come out. That is a great trouble with Alsace. With Alsace means with the people of Alsace. Mr. Hamel, the great French teacher, was teaching the lessons, was teaching French for last 40 years. So the people of Alsace had golden chance to learn their mother tongue French in a systematic way. Systematic way. Now you are Malayalis. We are Malayalis. I think so. Any doubt, Achut? Is there any doubt? Are we Malayalis? No doubt. No doubt. Achu says no doubt. Aishwarya, if I give you an option, a chance to learn French German and Malayalam. Which one will you choose?
Malayalam.
Not to please me, real choice. don't, don't try to cover up the face and please me, but really, which one you will choose? French. Am I right?
Maybe a new language.
Huh? Am I right?
Yes.
We will
Yes.
try to learn Meghana. Which one will you choose? Malayalam, French, or German? Boldly say, whichever.
French.
Not Malayalam, either French or German, because we will utilize the chance that we get. Till I tell the answer, Achyut has gone out. Okay, that means I should not ask him. Okay, so that is good, because if we get a chance to, that same thing happened to the people of Alsace. They got enough ample chances to learn their language, their language, but they did not utilize it. They told that today we are getting time to learn French, German. So today we will study German. Malayalam we will study later. French we will study later. That later was prolonged 40 years. Clear now? 40 years. Now you can understand the outcome of it, the result of it. If I give you a question in Malayalam to write an essay on COVID, in Malayalam, if I give an essay to write 1 page or 2 pages on COVID, some will make COVID as COVID, Govinda, COVID. Some may write gave it, like that. You see, you will see the outcome of choosing the other language. I am not propagating that you should not learn other language. No. The thing is that since it is our spoken language, mother tongue, we feel that we know the things. We know. We know to speak. Maybe writing style we may not learn. So that was the outcome of the people of Alsace. She puts off learning till tomorrow. She means Alsace. People of Alsace put the process of learning French for tomorrow, every day tomorrow, every day tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes to you. Tomorrow is always far ahead. Now, those fellows out there, those fellows out there, out from the class there, will have the right to say to you, how is it you pretend to be Frenchmen and yet you can neither speak nor write your own language? You see, that means you are blaming me. You see, the people who are there outside did not attend the class. So they do not know the real French. We cannot blame them. Some of the students are not attending the class and did not reach the class now. I cannot blame when I asked a question to them because they did not attend the class. They did not attend the class. Like that, there are people of Alsace who did not attend the class, did not come to the class of Mr. Hamel. So Hamel says, how can we blame them? But now you people have come to the class, but did not attend, but you are in the class. Now the people who are outside in the town who did not attend the class may blame you, have the right to blame you. What? You have attended 40 years. Still, you cannot speak. You cannot write. We are better. That's a blame to the teacher, isn't it? Are you blaming me? Once upon a time, will you blame me? Will the people blame? Will the people outside blame? I don't know whether I will be a Hamel or not. Okay, so it shall not be, isn't it? So you pretend to be Frenchmen. You pretend to be international students. And yet you can neither speak nor write your own language. Is it about you? You pretend to be international students, elegant in learning. I am not blaming you. Don't think like that. This is what is called literature, my children. We relate the text, we relate the literature to our own life. Do you like this way? Do you like it? Can you digest it? Can you accept my viewpoint? I don't know how many of you. You may think that always when the lesson is taken, Joseph sir is comparing us and blaming. Isn't it, Aishwarya? Am I right?
No, sir.
This is not to blame. I am not blaming you. I teach you how to read, how to understand a literary work. So here we are the people of Alsace. Alsace. So we have to match with ourselves. This will help you when you go for those who are going for MA English, higher studies in English, criticism. There is a special subject there, criticism. How you can criticize a literary work. You have to know this connotation. Nandana, without knowing the connotation, you cannot criticize a book. I am preparing you like that. All the things may not be necessary for the examination. We are going far from that. Okay. But you are now the worst. Poor little France. France, every day you are coming from home and you are roaming here and there. And you are the worst. We have all a great deal to reproach ourselves with. Reproach, rebuke, find fault with, criticize, self-criticism here. So we all should make an examination of conscience and we should criticize ourselves to our habits. Your parents were not anxious enough to have you learn. This is not about us. Your parents are very much worried about your studies. Here, he says, your parents were not much worried about your studies. They preferred to put you to work on a farm. They did not see much importance on studies, schooling. They wanted the child to be grown, healthy, physically healthy, so that he could take you to the farm to help him in his labor. On a farm or at the mills, so as to have a little more money. You see, that's a question there. Why were the parents not anxious about the studies? You can write the question there. Why were the parents not anxious about the studies? Okay, that's the thing, because they were not serious about the studies because they wanted their children to be healthy to do the manual labor, either in the farm or in the mill or in some other places to collect money. I have been to blame also. I have to blame myself also. Have I not often sent to you? He says, if Franz did not learn from the class, I have to blame myself also. Franz, have I not sent to you to water my plants in the garden instead of learning your lessons? When you come to the class, have I not sent to you to my garden, and to take, to water my plants? And when I wanted to go fishing, did I not just give you a holiday? When I wanted to go for fishing, what did I do? I give you a holiday. Today, no class because the teacher is going for fishing. So I blame myself also to my irresponsible days. Then, from one thing to another, M. Hamel went on to talk of the French language, saying that it was the most beautiful languages. It was the most beautiful language in the world, the clearest, the most logical. Then he was saying about the importance of French language. He said that French language is the most beautiful language, is the most beautiful language in the world, saying that it is the clearest language. It is the most logical language, underline, the clearest and most logical, that we must guard it among us. We must keep it as with us. Guard it. May we have to be with us. It should be with us. We should give much importance to that. Guard it among us and never forget it. Because when a people, this is an important sentence, it may come for the exam, public exam. When a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. Very important sentence. It may come as a question, the same sentence. You see, a people who are enslaved, who are in prison. Sneha, can you follow me? Any problem?
Yes, sir.
No problem. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. Okay, no problem. Okay. So, a people, a group of people who are enslaved, who are in a prison, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. You see, a group of people of same language. Let us take ourselves. Shall I take all the naughty fellows? First one, Gauri, and Aditya, Punya, Sania, Aparna, Meghna, then Nandana, all these naughty fellows, Dia, Donna, all these naughty fellows are kept in a, Aishwarya, kept in a prison because you have done a lot of mischievous activities. So you are punished for 5 years imprisonment. How many years? 5 years imprisonment. You can imagine, isn't it? No problem, isn't it? Any problem? If any problem, they can quit from the list. Okay. So suppose you are imprisoned for 5 years. because I did not call out the boys because they are little more naughty, really naughty. So if I call them, you may think, sir has caught that naughty fellow, isn't it? That is why I did not call out Aditya. I did not call out the boys, isn't it? Aditya Raj, I did not call out the boys. Okay. So I made these girls pray to the victim. Pray. P-R-E-Y, isn't it? Okay. They are imprisoned, but all are international students. They are international students. If you are kept, now attention, I am going to the connotation. This is an important question. If you are kept in a prison, in a single room, what will you do? You will sit alone. Is it lonely? Isn't it? Because you are in a prison. You have lost everything. Upset. Am I right, Gauri? Today, I think Gauri's day. Everybody has a day, isn't it? Okay. So, because you have proved it. While you are, Sanya, while you are traveling in a public transport bus, nearby a Malayali is sitting there, but you will not speak. You will sit. From Ashtamichara to Mala to Trivandrum, you are traveling in the same bus, but you will sit there silently. So if you are sitting in a public transport bus, Aditya, what will be the condition when you are imprisoned for 5 years imprisonment? Nobody will, because I think that her problems are very serious. So I should not mingle with her. She thinks that she is a very, very naughty fellow. So I should not mingle with her. So each one will justify herself and she will keep aloof from the other. Am I right? So that is what it is told. A group of people who are imprisoned, enslaved in a room. Clear now? That much is clear. You are imprisoned. Now you are free. So suppose these 10 fellows are of the same language, same village, speaking the same language. What they will do, they will sit and chat the whole day. They will share the films. They will share their childhood experiences. They will never think that they are sitting inside a prison. They will not feel that they are enslaved. Am I right? If you are sitting alone, you will feel enslaved. When you are talking each other, you will feel free. Am I right? This is the meaning of key of the prison. If the key is with you, you are free. You can go out at any time, isn't it? You are free. You will feel free. Do you follow my language? So when you have the key, some of the students did not open the videos. Please open the videos. Sharath, Vidur, Anjo, Anila, please switch on the videos. So if as they have the key of the prison, if the police officer, jail officer is giving the key of the door of the prison to the culprit, will he feel that he is in a prison? He may think that he is in a lodge. The same thing, that it shows the importance of language. It shows the importance of language. Okay. Because when a group of people are imprisoned, as long as they hold fast to their language, suppose they do not know their own language, what they will do? They will not be able to speak. As long as they know they are powerful enough to use their own language, it is as if they had the key of the prison with them. They will feel free in their life. Then he opened a grammar and read us our lesson. This was his introduction of the last lesson, last class. Then now he took the grammar book and opened and a grammar and read us our lesson. I was amazed to see how well I understood it. He understood very well, very well. Sometimes, Donna, if I give a nice slap upon you and tell you to attend my class, on that day you will attend the class very well, isn't it? Next day again, you will not attend. Eh? When you get a slap on that day, sometimes you have a cup is fallen down from your hand, and mommy give you a nice slap. And ask, how do you hold the cup? Don't you see that we have taken it from Muscat? How costly it is? You are so careless. Give a slap. On that day, you will be very careful to take the next cup, isn't it? Nona? Am I right? Ah, in this way, in this way. So you had some experience like that, isn't it? Okay. So, okay, here you see, I amazed, I was wonderful, surprised to see how clearly I understand the things. Oh, very good. Grammar till now it was an unbreakable nut to me. Now it is smashed into powder form. Very easy, very easy. All he said seemed so easy, so easy. Because I will tell you another example. Tank was full, water tank was full. What you will do? You will open the tap and you will wash with enough water, isn't it? Supply is gone, and there was only 10-liter water in the tank, just to have. And there was an announcement for next 24 hours, there will be no electricity. How will you use the water then? You will with utmost care. Now here, the last drops of French classes were going on. So the students were very careful to hear the last drop of the class. That is why they understood very well. Clear now? So, you see, I had never listened so carefully. This is the reason. I have never listened so carefully, and that he had never explained everything with so much patience. Underline. I have attended the class with great care. With great care. Second part, since it was a last class, Mr. Hamill was explaining with great patience. Till yesterday, he was not patient. Anila, what is the answer? Anila could not give the answer. So Mr. Hamill, what did he do? With his ruler, gave a shot on her head. He was not patient. Today, Mr. Hamill understood that this is my last class. I do not want to scold anybody. So he was teaching with great patience. Great patience. These are the two reasons why Mr. The boy France understood the grammar class very easily on that day. You can put a curly bracket. It seemed almost as if the poor man wanted to give us all he knew before going away. You see, this is the last class. The poor man, Mr. Hamill, wanted to give us the whole thing, whatever he had, and to put it all into our heads at one stroke. The man, Mr. Hamill, had a lot of knowledge. And he realized that this was his last class. So he wanted to pour out, give out the whole knowledge left out in his brain to the children on that day itself. Because he did not have any other class there. He wanted to complete his portion there. He wanted to complete his knowledge there. After the grammar, we had a lesson in writing. So at that time also there was writing skill, not only now, writing skill, writing. That day, M. Hamill had new copies for us, written in a beautiful round hand. What are written there? France, Alsace, France, Alsace. Because it is a primary class. It is a primary class. Their handwriting copy was given. So on that day, he had given the content, the line to write was France, Alsace, France, Alsace. They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the schoolroom. They look like little flags. What are these? France, Alsace is like a flag. This shows the patriotic feeling. When we hear about our own country, our own state, we feel proud, isn't it? Bharadam ennu kettal, isn't it? Keralam ennu kettal tilakkanam choranyaram pugalil. Isn't it patriotism? Is it right? That poem is right, isn't it? These two lines are right, isn't it? Keralam ennu kettal tilakkanam choranyaram pugalil. Like that, France, I'll say is France, I'll say is when on that day when the people read France in front of their eyes, the flag of France was fluttering. When they read Alsace, when they write Alsace, they saw the flag of district Alsace on their book. They went with the one word, they remembered their country. With one word, they remembered their state. They looked like little flags floating everywhere in the school room, in the classroom, hung from the road at the top of our desks. So it is tied. See, on all the desks, one stick, one rod was tied, and on the top of the rod, the flag was tied. They are imaginary, imaginary. They are. They have imaginary feelings. So you see, hung from the road at the top of the desks, you ought to have seen how everyone set to work, how quiet it was. You ought to have seen how everyone set to work. It was a sight to be seen. People should see. People should see. People should see how people were sitting there with such a discipline, with such a discipline. And how quiet silent it was. The only sound was the scratching of the pens over the paper. The people, they have heard the sound of writing only. In a way, we say in our language, pin drop silence. Pin drop silence. Never that school experienced such a kind of silence. The only sound was the scratching of pens over the paper. Once some beetles flew in, sometimes some beetles flew in, but nobody paid any attention to them. not even the littlest ones. Suppose if you are sitting inside the classroom, one lizard was on the floor. My dear girls, what you will do? I should not speak about the boys. Let me ask the girls. Aditya Satyan, there will be a total mess in the class. Suppose a honeybee comes into the classroom, what all will be doing? All will be looking all around. Isn't it? Natural sound you will create. But here you see in the last lesson, in the last class, beetles were coming into the class. Nobody had seen the beetles. They were attending the class. Concentration. Concentration. You see, they were concentrating on the class. That is what is important. Some people are saying that at home a lot of distraction for me to study. Am I right? Some people say, eh, a lot of distraction. Election mic sound, that sound, this sound, and my younger one is disturbing me. Sometimes mama is talking very loudly. The TV is kept on very loudly. Total distraction. Personally, I would say it is not a distraction. That is the natural sound of the nature. You are distracted. That is why your concentration is going to far and wide. Am I right? While opening the book, you are searching out what is happening in the kitchen, what my younger brother is doing, which film my grandmother is watching, which bus car has come in front of my house. You are searching all these things and your attention is going to far and wide. Then how can you get distracted? You are distracted. Learn from here, from France. Beetles came, trucks were going, many sounds were outside, but these people were not distracted. Not distracted. You see, even not the littlest one, the youngest one was not distracted. Who worked right on tracing their fish cooks as if that was French tool. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low. Underline. On the roof, the pigeons cooed very low. Can you tell anyone the meaning of that sentence? Why that sentence is there? What is the connotation of that sentence? Anyone? Can anyone? The pigeons cooed very slow. Usually pigeons coo very slow. It is especially written here. They cooed very low. Why? What does it mean? Anyone? Please let there be mistake, no problem. What it connotes? Anyone? Anyone? Should I call out the name? No need. Just I want to know whether you follow that trend. No one. Why it is written there? That sentence it is written. It's a common sentence. Tell me, Punya.
Even the pigeons were
I can't
feeling
hear
bad.
you. Your audio is not working, I think so.
Even the pigeons were
No, I
feeling bad.
can't hear you. I cannot hear you, Punya. Okay, I think some audio problem may be there. Okay. Anyway, one has taken that courage to speak out at least. Very good. Congrats. Okay. So you see, pigeons coo very low. Here the author has written specially because even the pigeons did not want to distract anybody. Even the pigeons also were attending Mr. Hamel attentively. You see, it shows how silent that classroom was. Pigeons, underline that sentence may come for a 2 marks question. Pigeons cooed very low. From this lesson, you may get two marks questions, not long answer mostly. Mostly it comes 2 marks questions. And I thought to myself, will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons? Will they, who are those they? Prussians. Will the Prussians compel these pigeons to coo in German? That means when the Prussians take over Alsace, they will stop French, and they will compel everybody to speak German. They will compel everybody to speak German. So it shows how rough they were, Prussians. How rough they were, the Prussians. That is why the author says, will the Prussians compel the pigeons to coo in German? Will they have no freedom? Their freedom also will curtail their freedom to speak. Do you understand? Liberty to speak. You have studied politics, isn't it? Politics and civics. Indian Constitution gives you the freedom to speak, isn't it? Right to speak. I think you have not studied. And go and study Ambedkar, Indian Constitution. You read it. The preamble. So here, the pigeons have the freedom to coo in their own language. Pigeons have the right to coo, chirp. In another word, I say not chirp, pigeons coo, but to know. Chirp in their own language. Suppose you purchase a duck. Suppose you bought a duck at home. You paid the money. So duck is yours. When you kept the duck at home, you told the duck, today onwards, you should not quack, quack. You have say, cocoroko. You ordered the duck to make the sound cocoroko. You are demanding from the duck. That means you are curtailing the freedom of the duck. Ashish, do you follow me? In Kodamangalam, there will be more duck, isn't it? Oh, okay. Okay. See, like that, pigeons have the freedom to coo in their own sound. Here the author says, will the Prussians curtail the freedom of pigeons even? Will they ask them to coo in German language? Whenever I looked up from my writing, I saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, then at another, as if he wanted to fix in his mind just how everything looked in that little schoolroom in classroom. So France was writing French Alsace handwriting. After writing 3-4 lines, Franz looked up. He looked at Mr. Hamel. So he saw Hamel was looking at each point of the classroom. He was photocopying each picture, each inch of the classroom. You see, that is what is written. That means very cautiously, consciously, he was looking at each corner of the classroom. When I looked up from my writing, France, I saw M. Hamel sitting motionless in his chair and gazing first at one thing, looking at one thing, then another thing, as if underlined, as if he wanted to fix in his mind, copy down, fix in his mind, copy down just how everything looked in that little schoolroom. Fancy, wonderful, strange. For 40 years, he had been there in the same place. Strange. He was in the same classroom for 40 years. Each and every point of the classroom, each and every tile of the classroom knows him very well. He knows each and everything in the classroom. Then why is he looking in a special way? You see, for 40 years, he had been there in the same classroom with his garden outside the window and his class in front of him. Only the desks and benches had been worn smooth. Desks and benches were there, the same, but they might have worn out. They became old for 40 years, but everything was same. The walnut trees in the garden were taller. 40 years before, the walnut trees was a sapling. Now it has become a tree. And the hope vine that he had planted himself twined about the windows to the roof. The vine plant, the vine that was there, it was growing and it was wind up. That means whatever he was there for 40 years, he saw the same thing, the same classroom, the same walnut tree, the same hop vine, same desks and benches. Still, why he is looking in a special way today? How it must have broken his heart, you see? How it must have broken his heart, underline. How much he feels pain in his heart today. The last class, how painful he was in his heart. How many years he stood in the class with great joy and enthusiasm. But today he has no that enthusiasm. He was feeling pain in his heart. How it must have broken his heart to leave it all. He is leaving the place. He is going to leave the place. So that created a great pain in his heart. Underline. To hear his sister moving about in the room above. So while standing in the classroom, he could hear the sound of his sister who is packing everything, packing their trunks, for they must leave the country next day, because this was his last day. He has to move from that country the next day. So they were packing everything. So the rest we will see in the next period. That is at 12:15. Okay. Now I wind up the class. Okay. Thank you.